Welcome to Idea Dream Home Season 5. When we started, we had about 54 shortlisted homes. The judges here have rated these homes, and by the end of the season, we'll have the top home that gets the best scores of the lot. Let's meet our judges. Arun Vidyasagar and Anna Kuruvilla. So let's move on to the visuals of the contesting house for today. It's called Mattekattil from Kirakkambalam. Let's have the visuals.
Hello everybody and welcome to your favorite show Idea Dream Home Season 5. Today I'm at Mattekattil house in Kirakkambalam, Ernakulam district. This house has been built in the contemporary style, approximately area of 4,800 square feet. A T-shaped compound welcomes us, which has been covered completely by using interlocking bricks. They have plantations placed on both sides, which has good amount of landscape area. Car parking space, well, it has been correctly positioned, and they have given a separate entrance too. Like right there, you see the separate entrance inside the house. The main entrance is on the other side, so the car parking space has been quite smartly positioned. Behind me is the main entrance to the house. They also have a small sit-out area the sideways. The flooring done is granite. Well, look at the exteriors. They have used a lot of white colors. White has been simple. The rooftops are traditionally done. Otherwise, the design has been kept to the contemporary outlook. Let me to this living area. Well, the deco completely is quite elegant. It's simply done, but yet it's quite impressive. To start with, first of all, the wooden niches been provided with LED lights, the perfect showpiece place. Above in the ceilings, they have done gypsum board with LED lights. And a difference is that on the other half, they have used wooden boxes between the gypsum boards. Indirect lighting has been provided. Now, the wall behind me hasn't been kept plain. What they have done is stone cladding work on completely in the vertical height. Then a grill board design has been given on particular section in the corner, so that helps in the transparency of the entire area and gives an impressive look to the room as well. They've used a lot of woodwork in the dining area. First of all, it's an 8-seater long dining table made of teak wood with glass top. And the ceiling space it's differently designed. They have used woodwork on the borders of the gypsum board with couple of hanging lights, and LED has been provided. They also have a crockery shelf. Well, to specify the details of the pantry space, they have a small breakfast counter. The granite slab has been used. Wooden cabinets have been provided above and below. Now, the pantry is connected with the main kitchen as well as a work area. We have a separate utility room that's also connected with the kitchen. Now here is the wash area and a common toilet. This is a family portrait and awards and all, so that they've showcased their built-in, and the grill board design that gives us a clear visual of the living space. So it breaks the mundaneness of this particular area and gives it a varied look also. The drawing room is spacious. They have a space for a study table, then couple of bedrooms on both the sides. This entrance is the entrance that we saw in the car parking space, so that laterally leads to this area. Now I'm in the master bedroom. Well, they have done wallpaper work extensively on the wall to add beauty to the headboard area. LED lights have been provided. Then there's a built-in wardrobe. Windows have been provided on either sides, which helps in the cross ventilation and light. And wooden handrail takes us to the upper floor. Toughened glass has been provided on the sideways, but the main attraction of this area is indeed the beautiful chandelier. It's long and pretty elegant. Family lounge on the upper floor. It's also the home theater space. They have 2 bedrooms on either side. The flooring used is completely granite.
It's a fairly simple and decent looking house. Anna, I'll start with you. What is your take on the exteriors?
I think this house has a very good view from the road. It is, and if you notice from the gate itself, the whole house you can see at one shot. And you see there's a lot of play of pergolas on every side, on every level. I'm sure with the sun, there'll be a play of lights. That must be the most beautiful thing about this house, that play of light, the shadows there. Landscape is absent right now. They have a huge area in front of the house that once the landscape comes would be an added ornament to the whole house. We see a lot of paved area, and it would be giving ample space for parking of lots of cars in case of a function or something. The only color that you see is a dark wood color for the windows, and also certain pergolas they've colored it brown, and they have a good main door, and there's a small court near the sit out. Once that area is also they do something in that, bring in a little bit of greenery, that will be nice once you're sitting in the sit out area.
Arun?
I think they've tried a very simple approach to a contemporary home, though they have pulled themselves back in the kind of design of the windows and things like that, because they are not that huge and they don't let in so much light comparing to the massive height of the house. It's got a good frontage, nice driveway, like what you were saying. There will be enough space to park cars even for a small function. Landscape is almost not present right now. It might come up in the near future, and it will give some kind of privacy to the house, as well as a shade to the front area. I don't think there is any special style also attached to the whole house. They have tried to do a mix
It's more
of
of
a straight line thing.
It's more of a contemporary house with Kerala elements. They've tried to bring in.
I think the Kerala elements is what it's pulling back the whole
Yeah.
house. They should have left that behind and
Contemporary.
then gone ahead with a little modern approach. It's a very decent approach or decent try to do a straight line house.
Okay. So coming down to the interiors.
Interiors are slightly better than the exterior, that's what I would say. I would not agree to the kind of sofas that have been selected in the ground floor. It looks very bulky. Something more slender, sleeker looking should be better in that space, because it kind of spreads. It's a very low kind of flat looking sofa. It's very bulky, kind of spreads through the whole floor area. So I think something sleeker would have looked better. They have a different looking dining table. It's a slightly bigger table than expected. They have an 8-seater table. Kitchen looks very neat, and there's a small breakfast space in a very slightly taller room. I think the room height is a little tall than the usual.
Yeah.
That's something to be noted. That gives you a little more space for the air to move around, and the heat is also considerably less. And then there's a neat wash area that's tucked in below the staircase, and the staircase railing also is done neatly. It's not a very commonly seen pattern. They have a huge chandelier that is hanging through the staircase. It's a very neat item, and they've tried something different in the bedrooms. The master bed and all other beds have a kind of frame that on the wall which behaves like the headboard, and the bed kind of seats inside. They have tried a very simple, decent approach for the interiors, and it kind of fares well.
What's your take, Anna?
You enter through the main door and you have the living room. I think the first sight is you get a view of the pantry. That is something that they could have changed. But the living room, they've detailed it out in a very simple way, not too many fancy stuff, just very simple things. One thing I really liked about, we have kids, and there are a lot of trophies we get as they progress through their schools, and it is important to us, but it needn't be very beautiful to look at, but it's a matter of sentiments, and they've used a corridor space to neatly display all that. It's not for anybody else, it's for them to, so it is in a locked position, it is in a place where it's important to them and not for the others. So that's a very neat thing they've done, and I love the powder room tiles that they've picked up. It's a subtle color of grey. Nothing looks gaudy, nothing looks out of place, though the curtains are simple, and and I love the chandelier. That's usually many people have this habit of hanging a chandelier in the middle of the living room, but they've put it in a place where it doesn't hinder anybody, and as you climb up the stairs, I'm sure it's a treat to see that play of lights through the crystals. So yeah.
Okay.
There's one more interesting space. There's a small jali in the living area where you see it becomes part of the wall.
Yeah.
It actually is a partition where you pass through to the bed spaces.
Yeah.
So both sides look interesting, and on the side where they have the cladding, on the other side they have tucked in a neat shelf. So that's an interesting move.
And also the living spaces. The public spaces are on one side and the private spaces are to the other. If you notice, the living, dining and the kitchen are on one end, and towards the other side they have the family and the bedrooms. So in terms of planning, it is good, like keeping the public and the private spaces separate. So that's also something very.
Of colors and the decor. What is your opinion?
Color is somewhere they've gone back. It is mostly shades of beige and brown. They could have experimented. It's a very big house, and it's something they can always introduce even now. They've not done anything wrong. The curtains are all very simple and elegant, but a little bit of color would have done a little more magic to that space.
Arun, what would you like to add?
I think I have the same opinion. I think staircase wall was the space they could have tried a little color. They lost out on that, but the chandelier kind of supports that cause, and when it's lit, I think it will look really well. Then they've tried to do a lot of fabric color changes, but it's not really appealing. Again, it goes back to the browns, and I think that's about it. They have not really put so much effort into bringing the decor together.
And how about the overall ambience?
Ambience is good. I think the interiors fare much better than the exterior. Exteriors are a little blunt and looks unfinished. Maybe it's the landscape that's not supporting it, or maybe it's a building that looks so plain. I don't know which one answers best, but I think interiors stand out a little tad better than the exterior.
How about you, Anna?
I'm sure once the landscape comes, it's going to tie the whole thing. It's only the landscape that's making it miss that finer thing. Interiors looks function wise, I feel each space is good and it's well thought of, and there is a lot of windows that you can look out, but then the windows seem a bit heavy in terms of the color or something, but still overall it's a very beautiful feel that you get when you get inside the house or when you're standing outside.
Arun, let's start with you. How much have you scored on exteriors?
I think the exteriors are still way back. They have to do a lot to bring it to a very appreciable level. I think they've tried their best in whatever simple things they have done. The landscape is yet to come up, and probably after that it would look totally different. I'll score them 18 for what they've done right now.
18 on 25. Anna, how about you?
This house is like the longer side is facing the road, so it gives it a look that it's bigger than it actually is. So, and there is this absence of landscape. I'm sure the landscape would have done a lot of positive things to the whole thing. I've given them 19 on 25.
19 on 25. And how about the interiors?
Interiors, it's simple. The functions are all taken care of. There's no clutter. There's not. They've not filled the spaces with too much furniture. That is something which we see in many houses. Like they build a space and then they just fill it up with too many things. So here there is a clutter-free. It looks very simple. So I've given them 20 on 25.
20 on 25. How about you, Arun?
I think the interiors are better thought of than the exteriors. They've tried to space out each space with a right amount of furniture. Though some of them are little bulky, I think they still do the function, and every space is well defined. The circulation is kind of well defined, and they've tried a little bit on some cladding and a little bit of jali. That's also very interesting. I think I'll rate them at 19.
19 on 25. And how about the color and decor?
Color and decor is not very vibrant. They have tried very little color, mostly off-whites and browns and beige and all those shades. And lighting is something they have tried to do. They brought in some little bit of different light fixtures like the chandelier and etc. And I think I'll rate them at 19.
How about you, Anna?
The color is somewhere they can still do work on. I've given them 19 on 25.
Okay, and how about the overall ambience?
Ambience wise, it looks big, it looks spacious. The spaces look, the height of the rooms is good, and there's a lot of space around the house. The house is well set. I've given them 20 on 25.
How about you, Arun?
I think the ambience is just good. The exteriors are let down compared to the interiors. I think when you look both of them together, I would score them only 18.
18 on 25. So we have the final scores from our judges. Anna has given a score of 78 on 100. Arun has given a score of 74. The public has given a score of 38 out of 50. So the total score is 190 out of 250. Trends will come and go. Your comfort is the ultimate luxury. So when you're designing your home, keep your comforts in mind. Keep watching Idea Dream Home Season 5. Goodbye.